Welcome back to Over 50 and Flourishing. My guest today is Mahwish Syed. She's an award-winning fashion and interior designer, celebrated author, cancer survivor, and a devoted mother. Her creations have adorned bodies and homes for more than 2 decades, fostering spaces that nurture and heal. Featured in distinguished publications like the New York Times, Architectural Digest, Elle Decor, and the Hamptons Cottages and Gardens, her designs transcend boundaries. Her book, Purgatory to Paradise, unveils her triumphant cancer journey, showcasing how design became her healing sanctuary. Committed to empowering others, she advocates for personal paradises, as she likes to say, affirming that genuine beauty is immediate and attainable for all. Please welcome Mahwish Syed. With fall on the horizon, it seems like everybody's eager to give their home just a well-deserved refresh. No one does it better than our sponsor, Jenny Kane Home. Jenny Kane Home is a California brand through and through, and their interior pieces are instant classics, perfect for capturing that minimalistic and effortless look. Jenny Kane Home has everything you need to transform your space into a luxurious sanctuary. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code Dominique15 at checkout. That's 15% off your first order, JENNIKAYNE.com, promo code Dominique15. Curate your dream home with Jenny Kane. It's midsummer. A lot of you may still have travel plans, and that might include shopping for just the right bathing suit. Boy, you know it when you find it because it cinches you in. It makes you look better than you feel you do. It is Miracle Suit. I have to share it with you, especially if you struggle to find that perfect swimsuit. My Miracle Suit perfectly flatters my body. In fact, it makes me feel the best I've ever looked in a swimsuit. So many neat designs, wonderful sculpting swimsuits. They are quality, they are designed to last, and trust me, you will use it for many, many summers to come. Their proprietary Miratex fabrics, kind of like a firm hug, gives your body that true miracle transformation. Miracle Suit is my new go-to for swimwear. I can't recommend it enough. And I've got a special limited time offer just for my listeners. Get 25% off when you order today with my exclusive promo code OVER50 at miraclesuit.com. 25% off. Such an amazing discount. This offer is not going to last long, so order now with my code OVER50 at miraclesuit.com. It seems every week there's a never-ending list of projects around the house, and we tell ourselves, oh, sure, we're going to knock it out, get that television mounted, build that piece of furniture that we just bought, or cleaning out the garage. Let me tell you, for all the tasks you need to do but don't want to do, there's TaskRabbit. TaskRabbit connects you with skilled taskers to help you clean, move, do furniture assembly, home repairs, and so much more. To get started, go to taskrabbit.com or download the app. Search for the best tasker for your job based on cost, skill set, availability, and past client reviews. Next, schedule your tasker, even as early as the same day. Once the tasker has completed the job, simply pay, tip, and review on the convenient TaskRabbit app. Tackle your to-do list today. Get 15% off your first task at taskrabbit.com or on the TaskRabbit app using promo code OVER50. That's promo code OVER50 at taskrabbit.com for 15% off your task. TaskRabbit. Book trusted help for home tasks. Mahwish, so good to have you on Over 50 and Flourishing today. I love your story. I love all things beauty. We share common interests in beauty, fashion, but you've taken it to a whole other level. You do interior design, and you have kind of an interesting, I would say, sort of holistic approach about beauty and health and wellness. And I can't wait to dive in because I'm a firm believer about how you feel in your space is going to dictate how you feel on the inside. So give everybody a little taste of you and your story. And, I just love midlife reinvention. So talk to me about that.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me, Dominique. It's a pleasure. My story began, I would call it a rebirth during my cancer journey. Now, I've been designing beauty my whole entire life. 20 plus years, fashion, interiors, jewelry, basically anything that had to do with aesthetics, I had my hand in. And basically, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2019. And that started my odyssey into my underworld, like the goddess Persephone. And so mythology is the backbone of a lot of my designs. And I use that and basically realized that beauty is divine cellular alignment. It is when you're in harmony with your heart and your soul. And basically, what I did during my cancer journey, the pomegranate seeds of wisdom that I learned were so important that I just couldn't gatekeep. And I wrote a book and I started doing workshops, and now I'm sharing it with the world.
I love that. Okay. So obviously, it took something traumatic, and that happens to a lot of people, Mahwish. Sometimes it's trauma, it's overcoming, it's hardship to make us realize that we have something bigger to do, that we've got purpose, that we need to share, and that life is short and precious. So what was going on in your mind during that time? What were you doing prior to the cancer diagnosis? And then how did you hit the gas once that happened to you?
That's such a great question. I realized during my cancer treatment, I was employing my own design techniques anyway, because for the first time I was home and looking around my home. And you know what they say about the cobbler's kids? It's the same thing. I design other people's houses and take care of their environments. And suddenly I was looking around my own environment and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to work on this. But you know what's so interesting? There is science backing up everything that I did on an intuitive level. And what I did was ground into my body. Now, when you're going into cancer treatment, you're in a trauma state, which is right out of you're in your sympathetic state, your activated state. And in order to get into your parasympathetic state, I started designing rituals of reverence. I'll give you an example. So when I was going through chemo, I couldn't eat my mom's favorite dishes that my mom made. And so I basically dressed up whatever it was, whether that was a sliced banana, I would put it on my best dishes. I brought out silverware. I kid you not. I never used them until after my divorce. They were my wedding china and my wedding things. I finally brought them out there. They were tucked away. So that's why I call it Purgatory to Paradise, my book, because I think we all are living in a state of purgatory. I certainly was. I certainly was waiting to live. And I was also in a toxic relationship, which also affected my trauma state. So I realized in order to get back into my parasympathetic state, and of course I wasn't wording it this way at the time, I was just very intuitively guiding myself through this. So I would dress up my table with rose petals, I would light a candle, I would use my best cloth napkins, and I would eat that sliced banana, decorated with violas from my garden. So it was something that I created this ritual and space to imbibe what could heal me instead of thinking about, oh my gosh, what has happened? Because I certainly think that in modern society, there is a triangulation taking place, a drama triangle, if you may, between you as a cancer patient as the victim, that whatever that illness is as the villain, and the doctor on the white steed coming in to rescue you.
Right.
So that drama triangle, I actually divested myself of that because I was my own hero. I was my own heroine, and basically took control and partnered with my allopathic team. But it's so important to state that we have the agency at all times. And wouldn't I know it, as I was dancing the tango with Hades, which I call dancing the tango with death, that I realized that I had that power within me all along to create that beauty for myself.
Wow. That's so powerful. And it's interesting because everybody's health journey looks different. People take different paths and they make different choices. And it sounds like what you were doing was an accompaniment or an accoutrement to everything else that was going on. But it was a way, it sounds like, to boost your morale, to boost your surroundings, because I would guess if you're at home and you're going through cancer treatments, home can either feel like a prison or it can feel like a palace, depending on what you decide to do with it. And you obviously took the palace route. And I love that. And I'm with you. I truly believe that our surroundings feed our soul or they can destroy our soul, depending on what they're like. So
Yeah.
as that was kind of moving through your health journey, did you then start writing your book, or when did all of that come to be?
I started writing my book about a year later, and I had already been collecting. I write every day. That's another part of my therapy. So that was
Mm-hmm.
already in place, but the fire was lit in me when I started doing workshops at the local hospital with other cancer survivors using design techniques to help them get
Mm,
through treatment. And then
interesting.
when I had so many people ask me over and over again the same question. And basically, the idea that we can create that beauty today is very important to emphasize, because I deal with the one percenters here in New York City. Projects take years at a time, sometimes even a decade. They're long-winded projects. And when you have cancer, you don't have that kind of time. And suddenly I
Mm,
was looking around thinking, oh my gosh, what can I do today? What can I help you find today and implement today that will create your paradise? Because paradise to me, it's not waiting until, I get out of this rental and buy that house, or
mm,
when I get that promotion, or when I lose that 10 pounds, and then I can feel better about myself. It's about feeling better now. It's actually counterintuitive, Dominique, but
mhm,
a lot of women I've noticed wait to feel beautiful until they've healed. But
mm.
I think it's important to feel beautiful now in order to heal.
Yes, I agree. I think it's a part of the healing journey because to me, it sends a very strong message to yourself that I matter in the moment, and this self-care matters in the moment. And I may not feel it, but if I do it and I look at myself in the mirror, I can create that feeling by that action. So it sounds to me that's your methodology here.
Yeah, yeah. And most cancers are epigenetic. That means over two-thirds of them are the result of your environment and your lifestyle,
Yeah.
which is actually great news, because
Mhm.
that means we have the ability to create that environment and to redesign our bodies from the inside out. I think it's
Mm.
actually God having a great,
Powerful.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's God having a great sense of humor, calling me an
Mm.
interior designer, because I think we are all our own interior designers, Dominique.
That's a good way to put it. When we think of interior, we often, most of the time, think of the house or the office, but we forget about this interior right here and that we get to design her from scratch, which is a very powerful and beautiful place to originate, isn't it?
Yes, yes, that's all from within. And now I believe there's no dichotomy between religion and science. I think they're just different languages speaking the same poetry. It's just in different words in different ways. So my goal here is to really bring those aspects together. I got my certification in applied quantum biology, which from a circadian standpoint, I was interested in literally how your environment designs your body and how your body interacts with your environment on a very physical, spiritual, quantum, energetic level. And there is so much wonderful things I'm discovering that I am lit up to share with the world, because we are in a living ecosystem. This is our microcosm, and your home is your macrocosm. And we're in this dance together in more ways than we realize. And in that way, we have truly the ability to design ourselves on a cellular level and on a beauty level.
Tell me a little bit more about how you were working with other women who were going through cancer. You touched on that a little bit.
Yes. So again, it was so important for me to share my own journey with the women who are going through cancer treatment. And as I've had friends go through it too, I realize how unusual my approach is. Number one is obviously mindset, your approach and how you frame that illness for yourself, whatever that illness could be, that it is something that's not happening to you, but something that's happening for you. And what is the message? Because I think cancer was my wake up call
Mm,
to look at my life differently and to behave differently, to really recalibrate every aspect and every value that I held. And a lot of times we think, again, we're living in the state of default, like just going with the motions. And to be truly intentional with our days, to be truly intentional with our treatment is very, very important. I have meditations where when I was going through chemo, I'll give you an example. I studied the actual drugs that I was taking. So one was Taxol, which is derived from the Pacific yew tree. That yew tree was venerated by the Druids and by the Greeks as the tree of immortality. So instead of thinking about myself dying as I was being infused, I was thinking that I was being lit by divine wisdom and immortality like a goddess Persephone. So Persephone, as we know, is the goddess of the seasons. And the reason why I love her so much as a metaphor for me and what I was going through and what we all go through is that we're constantly cycling between life and death. Right now, our cells are renewing. When we go to sleep at night, that's our underworld. When we wake up in the morning, that's our upper world. We're cycling through the seasons. We're cycling through the seasons as women. This idea, what I call the holy triumvirate. My holy triumvirate, Dominique, is the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And I feel we as women who are in the mother stage or even the crone stage are being triangulated with the maiden in modern society. And right now, I grew up with 4 generations under one roof in Pakistan. I learned how to braid hair on my great-grandmother's hair. And so I learned how to venerate and have that wisdom being passed down from generation to generation. And so that in that, way, I wanted to work with other cancer survivors to bring that wisdom to them and to have them light up. And really, it's not even a battle. It's a dance, and to design their whole being from the inside out.
Yeah, well, that's a beautiful way to look at that journey where spirituality oftentimes takes center stage, a person's belief system in God. And you chose to see it as this dance. And it was a journey in your healing. And obviously, it enabled you to help others journey through that season as well. Our guest today is Mahwish Syed, and she is healing through beauty. How beauty in your physical environment affects your biology. So we're going to talk more on the backside of this break. You are watching and listening to Over 50 and Flourishing. With fall on the horizon, it seems like everybody's eager to give their home just a well-deserved refresh. No one does it better than our sponsor, Jenny Kane Home. I just moved into a house. I've been looking for all kinds of accessories and items to elevate my home, give it that timeless classic. Jenny Kane is it. Jenny Kane Home is a California brand through and through, and their interior pieces are instant classics, perfect for capturing that minimalistic and effortless look. From luxurious bedroom linens and iconic furniture to the cutest pillows and throws, not to mention the most incredible scented candles. Jenny Kane is here to help you create a space everyone will envy and you will absolutely love. It is the best way to refresh your space. Check out their pillows and throws. For me, it's just what I've been looking for. Is there such a thing as too many? I don't think so. Jenny Kane Home has everything you need to transform your space into a luxurious sanctuary. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code Dominique15 at checkout. That's 15% off your first order, JENNIKAYNE.com, promo code Dominique15. Curate your dream home with Jenny Kane. It's midsummer. A lot of you may still have travel plans, and that might include shopping for just the right bathing suit. Boy, you know it when you find it because it cinches you in. It makes you look better than you feel you do. It is Miracle Suit. I have to share it with you, especially if you struggle to find that perfect swimsuit. My Miracle Suit perfectly flatters my body. In fact, it makes me feel the best I've ever looked in a swimsuit. So many neat designs, wonderful sculpting swimsuits. They are quality. They are designed to last. And trust me, you will use it for many, many summers to come. Their proprietary Miratex fabrics, kind of like a firm hug, gives your body that true miracle transformation. The designs are fun. They're classic. Some are a little bit trendy. I'm telling you, there's something for everybody. I've worn mine to the beach and out by the pool. I love it. I love me a good asymmetrical swimsuit, and boy, do they have it. Miracle Suit is my new go-to for swimwear. I can't recommend it enough. And I've got a special limited time offer just for my listeners. Get 25% off when you order today with my exclusive promo code OVER50 at miraclesuit.com. 25% off. Such an amazing discount. This offer is not going to last long, so order now with my code OVER50 at miraclesuit.com. Welcome back. My guest today is Mahwish Syed. She is a self-described design goddess. You are a goddess. You are beautiful in your own right. And you've been sharing your personal journey through cancer and how you chose to see that journey and enable and empower other women to basically envision and embrace their journey as well, and to find the beauty and the healing in things. And I want to talk a little bit more about that. Your background is in design, fashion, interior. You've been doing this for a majority of your life. Let's talk about the power of all those things and how we can harness that and where we can start making simple changes to really impact, as you say, our biology.
Yes. So number one thing I would say, start with your closet. We're going to shop your closet today.
Right.
And think of your sofa as your little black dress. So what I did when I was going through my treatment, I had to use silk pillows for my hair and everything. And I didn't want to go out and spend more money. So I shopped my closet. I went into my closet. I got out my scarves, my silk scarves, and I started wrapping my pillows with my scarves to change it up. Because if you think about your little black dress, you dress it up with a little bit of scarves or some bling. So think about something that isn't so permanent. I think a lot of people get caught up in perfection paralysis and they don't want to change because they don't want to make a mistake. So I say, go to your closet, get that scarf out, play with it, find something that you used to love, especially like I think, when I was 15, I was always designing clothes and think about the colors that I was really into. And sometimes we get, I'm mature now and that's not my style anymore. Go back to that color that lights you up, whether it's bright chartreuse or that fuchsia. Put it on your sofa, because I think in that way, color changes your vibration. It is known to affect your physiology. So that is from the vision standpoint. I basically cycle and I teach how the five senses and grounding into your five senses is so important to do wherever you are and whatever point in your treatment you are. For example, sound. Sound also affects your nervous system.
Very much.
When we think of listening to birds chirping, that actually settles our nervous system because our biology is ancient. For thousands of years old, when the birds were chirping, that meant that the environment was safe. So usually if there was a predator around, they'd shut up. So it's actually very much tied to our biology to be able to listen to, whether that's the sound of the ocean. And music. Music also helps your brain waves. So think about looking at your environment in your home through all your five senses. Lighting to me is another really important.
Everything. It's so funny. I joke with Courtney all the time. I'm like, no fluorescent overheads. I refuse. I go to work. I've got my incandescent light bulb on at 40 watts. That's it. I want warm light, no fluorescents. I hate them. I think they're evil.
They are evil. They use them in horror movies for that green.
Yeah, they're terrible.
It's terrible for you. And by the way, I'm an LED snob too. We're going to get into that. But
yeah,
from a circadian standpoint, since sunlight isn't polarized and most of our modern windows are laminated to block out certain parts of UV, it's really important to open your window. And that way the sunlight can bounce into your room. I use designer techniques for example, in a low ceiling space, I use high gloss paint on the ceiling to reflect that light, and actually it creates an element of light.
Illusion of height, I guess,
Exactly.
because of the sun.
Exactly. And also brings light in. So think of being a vampire hunter. Bring light into your space using mirrors, because mirrors also reflect. And I use mirrors perpendicular to windows, whether that's a standing mirror or at the ledge. Think about creative ways that you can decorate to bring that light into your space. It's really, truly important. And just as light is important during the day, it's really important to dim it down at night. Now, here's an interesting thing you may or may not know. The location of your light at night matters in relation to your body. For example,
How so? Explain that.
so everybody's got that, gorgeous or not so great lone dome in the sea of ceiling, that one overhead light, which I can't stand, or your gorgeous chandelier, which can be your bling in the room. Now, here's the thing. I don't recommend turning on that overhead light at night as your only source of light. The reason why is your body has photoreceptors all over on your skin as well as your eyes. So when you think of that sun at noon, that makes sense. But at 9 o'clock at night, it really doesn't. So to dim, I love your 40-watt incandescent, love it, whether it's your table lamp, your sconce, a desk lamp, to dim your lights at night, it's so important to settle down. And
Agreed.
And also, did you know that firelight is the only other source of natural infrared light other than the sun? And our biology is very much linked to that fire and that ability to settle into our parasympathetic state. Now, if you imagine your favorite romantic restaurant, is it brightly?
You want to sit by the fireplace.
I mean, it's not lit up with those fluorescents or, like a cafeteria. It's dim. Why is that? That's for a reason.
Relaxes you.
Exactly. So I think all of these steps are incredibly attainable, incredibly doable. Senses, like for touch, for example. Touch was the very first sense you had as a baby before you were even born in your mother's womb. It gave you that level of security. So what you put against your skin matters. And I study the science of that, by the way. I mean, I'm a materials consultant. So, of course, no synthetics, because synthetics are toxic. All the polyesters, and by the way, bamboo silk is a great marketing strategy to get you to buy something that is greenwashed, and it is really toxic. It's viscose. It's viscose, and the way that viscose is made is very toxic for the people who make it and for all the waste products, byproducts that creates. So the idea of the materials that are against your skin, really important. I'll give you another example.
Well, give us I mean, I want the list now. Now that I'm hearing this, I want the list of what to get and what not to get, because I have bamboo sheets and now I'm going to chunk them.
Yeah, don't. The best actually is linen, number one.
Really? But why do I find linen to be a little scratchy?
It depends on where you're getting it from. And also organic cotton. Organic cotton. Yeah, organic cotton is the way to go. I agree with a lot of linen makers don't really do well, but we can talk after.
They don't make it soft enough. So just organic cotton anywhere.
Organic cotton.
I mean, now I want to where do you buy your sheets? See, I want the details.
Well, I think it's really important, number one, to understand one thing. We have to remove and then we add. Okay. So I have audit lists on, for anyone who wants them. So it's one thing to be an alarmist and say, this is bad, this is bad, this is toxic, but to actually have swaps. Now, your number one source of air pollution in your home are your area rugs and your flooring. Okay. Your carpet.
Because of the dust and everything that it's holding?
That dust is literally, you're imbibing that in nanoparticles, but it's, if it's synthetic, if you have any glue downs, so it's volatile organic compounds that are coming from a lot of these. I'm not going to name names, Dominique, but I can't stand when people market something as pet friendly, stain resistant, easy to clean. All of those things is code for toxic. Because
toxic chemicals.
Yeah, because polypropylene it's not meant for indoor spaces.
Right.
Wool is biosustainable. It's been around for thousands of years, and it's very cleanable. It's very easy to clean. So hemp, wool, linen, cotton, natural fibers are really important. And when you're looking around, also your upholstery, what is your upholstery made out of? If it's contract grade or stain resistant, again, it's going to be viscose, it's going to be polyester or nylon. And that stuff degrades over years. You're breathing that stuff in through the course of that time in your home.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. These are really, really great places to start. And I would think everything that applies with the towels and anything that has contact with your body, right? Your
Yeah,
clothing, all of that. So stay away from that, which is hard because everything these days is like a poly rayon blend.
it's crazy, but think about what your great grandma wore.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever your ancestors wore, that's the right way. And now I'm studying the frequency of materials. And, we're electromagnetic beings, right? So we have an electric charge, and modern life robs us of our electricity. And so a
Right.
lot of these metabolic disorders and endocrine disruptions, all of this is like this perfect storm that creates that imbalance or dis-ease within us, that lack of harmony, that dissonance on a cellular level. But these
Right.
are easy fixes. They really, truly are.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not, these are basic, but there are so many places. It's like we can go down a ton of rabbit holes here, right? We can talk about the household cleaners. We can talk about, bringing plants into the equation. I mean, where else do you go from here?
I think it's really important to think about yourself as you would for thousands of years as a divine goddess. Now, imagine yourself in touch with the sun and in touch with nature. So having nature inside your home. There were studies that were done in hospitals where they showed a picture of, a sunflower field, an actual, like a photograph, a painting of a sunflower field, and then a Jackson Pollock painting. And the patients that were in rooms with the nature recovered 30% faster than the ones with the Jackson Pollock painting. Sorry, I mean, it's, abstract art is great too, but I'm just saying nature is important. When you look at leaves, it actually settles your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And during the pandemic, they also had studies done where taking care of houseplants helped alleviate anxiety and depression for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to start with yourself in a natural way.
Yeah, I agree. I'm everybody who follows me knows that I love to have my potted plants. I always do gardening for that very reason. I like to get in the dirt. I think it's important to ground, but also the beauty and to feel care that I'm giving and nurturing and creating beauty in my environment. And every time I look outside, I get to see it and I get to see how that plant's doing. And it's a reminder, oh, it's a really hot day. I better get out there. I better water you. I better nurture you and take care of you. And that is indicative of a lot of other things in life. It's a reminder, right? That care of that plant is a reminder for care of other, sometimes bigger and more important things.
Sometimes I wonder when we have days, like, why do we have days? It's like another do-over. It's another opportunity to start again, to try something new, to do things differently. And I would say start with one thing. Don't let it overwhelm you. Either start with, like, I would call your living room. Start with your coffee table. Your coffee table is your altar. If your home is your sacred sanctuary, then what would you put on that altar? Not candy wrappers or, junk mail. You would always create that beautiful curation of objects that have meaning for you, whether it's a photograph of a loved one, whether it's a memento from a special trip that you had, whatever it is to help ground you and remind you of those moments is really, really important. Be intentional with what you place around you on an aesthetic and emotional level.
Yes, I love that. Give us, I love going through design books and Pinterest. I'm a fake interior decorator and designer. I'm not a professional, but I feel like I consume it so much that I enjoy exploring it and trying it on my own side. I think a lot of people might have fear or intimidation and say, well, I'm just not good at that. I don't know. I have a hard time keeping it up. I don't have good taste. Where should people start? I think everybody can. I think you first have to remove that limiting mindset, but I think you can make yourself and your space beautiful. So I love that idea about the coffee table. And where else can we go from that?
Oh my gosh, your bedroom. What is the
Yes.
first thing that you see when you wake up? Like, let that be the beginning of your inspiration. So when I was going through cancer treatment, I put up a picture of myself when I was 15, long before boys, when, the world was my oyster, because I certainly didn't look like her. I did not look like her. I was swollen. I had scars. I had, burns, everything, you name it. And I needed to see her again to remind myself of who I am, that she's in there. And it's so important for us to remind ourselves of that moment of our innocence. So with my clients, I ask them, what were you doing when you were 6 years old? What did you like? Who was your favorite hero? What colors were you into? What toys did you play with? What music did you listen to bring yourself back to that level of innocence? Because I think as adults, we spend a lifetime marinating in self-judgment. And I think it's so important to bring that inner child out and to play with her. And, I remember fashion plates. Do you remember them? Like,
Sure do.
So, oh my gosh, like things that just light me up. I mean, it's music, even things that I listened to as a child. And again, it's all popular again, but I think it's so important to play because play is the opposite of trauma.
Yeah. That's great. Give us some examples of play. And I agree with you. I mean, sometimes that can be putting on your favorite music and dancing in the kitchen. It can be, getting some paint and messing around. It could be putting on your makeup. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear your examples of play. We're going to take a quick break, play some commercials so that we can keep this podcast going. But my guest today is Mahwish Syed, and she is a self-defined design goddess, creating a beautiful environment so that you feel beauty and harmony within. We'll be right back. It seems every week there's a never-ending list of projects around the house, and we tell ourselves, oh, sure, we're going to knock it out, get that television mounted, build that piece of furniture that we just bought, or cleaning out the garage. Let me tell you, for all the tasks you need to do but don't want to do, there's TaskRabbit. TaskRabbit connects you with skilled taskers to help you clean, move, do furniture assembly, home repairs, and so much more. For me, I just bought some new furniture, and I'm sorry, I don't have the time to put it together or the skill set in some cases. That's where TaskRabbit comes in. To get started, go to taskrabbit.com or download the app. Search for the best tasker for your job based on cost, skill set availability, and past client reviews. Next, schedule your tasker, even as early as the same day. Once the tasker has completed the job, simply pay, tip, and review on the convenient TaskRabbit app. Taskers have assembled more than 3.4 million pieces of furniture. They've done 700,000 home repairs and completed 1.5 million moves and more. Plus, with TaskRabbit's happiness page, if you're not satisfied, they want to make it right. Tackle your to-do list today. Get 15% off your first task at taskrabbit.com or on the TaskRabbit app using promo code OVER50. That's promo code OVER50 at taskrabbit.com for 15% off your task. TaskRabbit. Book trusted help for home tasks. It's officially vacation season. I'm heading to Greece in October with 25 of my viewers. I'm so excited, but you know who's not invited along? Body odor. That's who. That's because no matter where I go, I always bring Lumi whole body deodorant with me. It keeps me smelling fresh all day, everywhere from underarms to any part of my body. In fact, it's clinically proven to control odor for a whopping 72 hours. Imagine that, whether you're hiking, camping, walking, seeing the sights, whatever, you don't have to worry. That's what I love about Lumi. I personally pack their wipes with me wherever I go. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals to over 40% off their starter pack. Use code OVER50 for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code OVER50 at LumiDeodorant.com. Welcome back, everybody. Mahwish Syed is with me today. She's a design goddess. She is a believer in creating beauty in your style, in your lifestyle, to alter and create beauty in your biology, that everything around us basically has an impact on how we feel. I believe in that. I believe in, I mean, I wouldn't have a platform if I didn't believe in that, Mahwish. And it's something that has transcended not just to myself personally, but also my environment. And it's funny that, you were talking about play before we got into the commercial break, and whether it's music or, being creative or whatnot. I recently had a chance to decorate a new home, and that was a wonderful creative outlet for me. And what I found was, I was kind of the queen of neutrals. I was sort of the black, white, gold kind of gal.
Right.
With a little pop of green. And I decided this time around to sort of play around with some color. And I have to say, I really enjoyed that. I wasn't so sure how I'd feel about it, getting out of that comfort zone. Will I like it? Will I grow tired of it? But it did something to me, and it affected me emotionally, which is interesting. And it brought an element of cheer and an element of brightness. And I think differentiation also. So to me, that was my play. And it was a very exciting opportunity. And you know what it made me think of? Even if you're not moving, you know what? You can change out throw pillows. You can change out some things and try and experiment and have your play that way too, can't you?
Oh my God. Where to begin? This is so much.
Where to begin? I see. There we go. I teed you up.
Yeah, it's perfect. So like I said, if your sofa is your little black dress, so put that scarf on that pillow. You don't even have to buy anything. Shop your closet. Try something fun, whether it's even a texture, whether it's a blanket. The other thing is to really customize a space. And if you're too scared to try wall covering, there's removable wall coverings. Put them in your entry closet. So when you open the closet, you're like, there's a zingy pattern in there, even like a funky camo or Maryland print. So think about, your entry closet as a great opportunity. The other is, I think would be really fun, is your bathroom, to try a really saturated, deep color in your bathroom, in your powder room. And whether it's a rental or you own, I think changing out your hardware is such a lovely way to create that level of bling and fun, and go in and find something that's crystal or brass, antique brass shaped animal, whether it's a peacock, whatever it is, whatever you open, like your closet doors, change just those. Start with one zone that you feel like you can just master, instead of like feeling like you have to change everything. Start with one, because when you start with that one color, it'll inspire you to continue going and to create that. And by the way, please turn off that overhead light.
Yes,
please. Get some candles that are non-paraffin wax. I have some great suggestions. And also scent. Oh my gosh, layering.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Layering your space with essential oils or with a diffuser is so important. I mean, come on, hotel, lobbies use it, high-end retail stores use it. Why? Because it is very effective, and it's connected to the most ancient part of your brain. It's primal. So when you walk into your home, it should smell like you, whatever that is.
Yeah, it should smell beautiful. Love whatever calls on you. I agree. I'll share a funny story with you. So my office at Merritt Street is your typical white box with those overhead fluorescents. So I got the lamp desk with the 40-watt bulb, and I share this because I want people to know, and let this serve as a reminder. You don't have to spend a lot of money to create this aura and this environment that you're wanting to create. I went to a thrift store, and let me tell you, I found big canvas art for $6. I found my lamp for $12. I found a standing lamp for $18. I mean, people come into a rug, that I got on Amazon. I mean, people will come in and they're like, what did you do here? And I said, this was under $50, but look at the difference. And so it can be done. It's just, and the joy for me is in the hunt.
Oh my God, totally. That's play. That
Yeah,
discovery.
that's play.
That's discovery. Or even that, like you said, look at the magazines and tear out whatever it is. Oh my God, I don't know about you, but like as a teenager, I always had pictures of interiors or fashion, up
Yes.
on my walls. And I still have like my whole design boards and swatches and whatever it is that you collect. Put them up, look at them, have a designated space where you're looking at them.
Hmm.
Years later, oh my God, years, I'm talking decades later, I had a girlfriend walk into my living room. She's like, do you realize that that is one of the pictures you had up on your wall? Now you have it. And I'm
Mm.
like, I didn't even realize. So we are visual creatures. Think about putting something, whether that's a picture of you as a young girl, whether that is a beautiful room that you want to aspire to, have it. Oh my gosh,
Hmm.
teal, and also colors that are quote unquote, in fashion or out of fashion, chuck it. Whatever
Yeah.
appeals to you
Right. Is your
is your
color.
thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I know for a fact that when I wear shift dresses, I look like I'm about 30 pounds heavier. So things
Hmm.
that are fitted fit me. So it's just that way of what is tailored to you. Your home should be a reflection of your inside, of your inner goddess.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes nice to create. I'm a big believer in vision boards, and you can go online and you can either print out if you're a tactile person and you need to see it in front of you, or you can create an online vision board and take a look at different things, right? Different ideas that inspire you. And to your point, and I'm so glad you brought this up. I mean, it can be paint. It can be the stick on wallpaper. It can be new pulls on, kitchen doors or bedroom or bath or whatever. But those little things have such a profound impact. And you know what else does? Cleaning up a space and not having junk. Let's talk about the power of a minimalistic environment.
We are so in touch with the soul part of us needs to have that serenity, and serenity can't happen when you're in
Mhm.
clutter. Your
Yeah.
mind is can't settle. So it has been documented. So curate. I use the word curate because I think, your
Hmm.
home, treat it like your gallery, treat it like your space where it is your living art, right? The
Right.
way we live is art in living form, truly. And beauty for me is so important. I believe it's a healing modality that needs to
Hmm.
be in every hospital, Dominique.
I agree
It
with you.
needs to be in every home, every space where we can feel settled and in our parasympathetic state, because so much disease is caused from being out of whack.
Hmm. Agreed. So I think what we're gathering from all of this, I just kind of want to summarize because you really threw out so many great nuggets. And for somebody who may be, wondering, okay, how can I boil this all down? You first started with fabrics, the importance of fabrics. So reiterate those again. What are the things we should be looking
You
for?
should be looking for 100% natural cotton, linen, wool, jute. Do not go for bamboo silk. Do not go for synthetics like nylon, viscose, polyester. They're also coated with PFAS, which are incredibly toxic. So please choose what your ancestors lived with. These fabrics, these fibers are biosustainable. That's very important, number one. Number two, have as much natural light on your skin as possible.
Hmm.
So whether that means setting up your desk where you're looking at the window instead of away from
Hmm.
it, right? Getting that light in your eyes is so important, and have nature around you and create that bling, create that color, create that fabulous vibrance in your life. Don't be afraid to try things out and play a little.
I love it. Perfect summary. And is this your book? Tell everybody about your book and where they can get it and what they'll find in the
Thank
pages.
you. It's called
Mhm.
Purgatory to Paradise. It's on Amazon and on Audible. So if you want to cook and start decorating, you can also listen to me narrate. And it's a story of really not just my cancer journey, but my design nuggets are also laid
Mm.
out and seamlessly with the idea of being this goddess that you are and that we all are, and to connect to our healing divinity.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I know you'll help a lot of people. I mean, you clearly did as you went through your cancer journey. And also so grateful that you came out on the other side and that you're well, and healed. That's so important as you continue to share your message of beauty and creating a beautiful environment so that your biology can heal. And it's been, such a lovely conversation, and honestly, just such a reminder of how much we need to be in tune with nature, right? Because everything that you talked about is bringing nature back in. It's bringing it on your body. It's bringing it in your home, and the importance of being connected to it. And I'll personally add one more thing, the importance of being barefoot. And when I get home, I kick off my shoes. I am barefoot for the rest of the day, in the house, outside the house. I'll walk the dog barefoot. That to me is incredibly important.
Oh my God, from a quantum biology perspective, that is so key. Grounding and to basically recalibrate your electrical charge is key. And by the way, I have a gift for your listeners too. It is my top 3 things that you can have today. And it's at claimyourparadise.com/podcast. And that way you can start today to implement and start accessorizing your healing oasis.
Oh, that's wonderful. And is that what you offer to your clients? Is that kind of the start package, basically?
Yeah. It's a great way to start. And it has a science behind everything. And it's really super simplified.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Mahwish Syed. Thank you so much. Our design goddess today on Over 50 and Flourishing, just reminding us how important it is that we design our lives so that we do feel like goddesses, and we live and breathe that kind of beauty and all the benefits that come with it. I appreciate you and your perspective today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Dominique.
Thank you for joining us for today's Over 50 and Flourishing. I hope you are inspired to create beauty in your space and you realize and understand the importance of how it's going to make you feel. I'm a big believer in that, as you can clearly tell by following me on YouTube and the podcast that I do here on Apple and Spotify, which, by the way, if that's where you are listening, please don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share Over 50 and Flourishing to those you know and love. Let's grow our community and bring in and make this Over 50 group far-reaching and wide so we can touch as many lives as we possibly can. And if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You will get a podcast every Monday and a YouTube video every Thursday, and you'll be notified via email. So you can just click the link and it'll take you right there. And of course, feel free to comment on any type of content that you would like to see from me in either podcast or YouTube form. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye. It's officially vacation season. I'm heading to Greece in October with 25 of my viewers. I'm so excited, but you know who's not invited along? Body odor. That's who. That's because no matter where I go, I always bring Lumi whole body deodorant with me. It keeps me smelling fresh all day, everywhere from underarms to any part of my body. In fact, it's clinically proven to control odor for a whopping 72 hours. Imagine that, whether you're hiking, camping, walking, seeing the sights, whatever, you don't have to worry. That's what I love about Lumi. I personally pack their wipes with me wherever I go. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals to over 40% off their starter pack. Use code OVER50 for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code OVER50 at LUMEDEODORANT.com.